when there was a coworker I was talking to the other day, and he told me like, "Hey, how many times have you broken down?"
Like
and
your
like
vehicle?
on the road, yeah. And then I started thinking about some of the shit cars we used to have, like back in the day. And I'm like, it's been since we've been adults. I don't remember having. I don't remember ever breaking down only than one time when we were kids. And my dad stopped. Do you remember River Road going to Bay City? How we would take that road next to the river?
Yeah.
There used to be a little shop there, like midway to Bay City. And I remember we were leaking power steering and we stopped there and the guy, he either filled it up or patched us up or did something. And then we drove back home. But that was the only time where my dad had to stop to get a repair while he was with us that I remember. And I'm like, damn, I told him I've been really lucky that I haven't broken down. And then I remember we were driving the van and we used to have like a O2, some minivan. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was a white van. When I say it was a white van, I'm not sure if this was the handicap van, that Dodge Caravan.
We had a couple of vans, huh?
But remember how we were driving on the freeway and then the muffler fell off?
Yeah.
And then it was because you were just driving normally, and all of a sudden you're like, boom. Because I don't know if it was dragging. I don't remember. I just remember it flew off, and you seen it on the freeway. Just
and
gone.
That shit got hella loud.
And then it became a race car.
That shit got super loud.
And we just kept driving that everywhere we went. We were picking up Alex, remember? We were going to go pick up our little brother from school. That's what it was. And then we were in the parking lot like,
yeah, shit's
with a race car. And I remember thinking like, we had like an Oldsmobile.
Reliable is what we called it.
And I used to pick us up from school. And I remember me and Chelly would duck because it was all rusty and then I'm like, it's crazy to think how much you cared back then, because I didn't want nobody to see me in that. For some reason, I seemed like you would think like, oh, you're poor and you care about the people. Nobody even gives a fuck. But I just remembered that the other day and thinking like how far we've come. Like now it's like we never break down ever. So it's
rare.
It's
rare. And even when something like that happens, it's usually when we're fixing a car. And even then, it feels weird because it's like this never happens to us. And that's because we've done well with taking care of the cars. And we have newer shit. A lot of shit's just new now. So that shit don't break down.
There's a Cuban guy that came to work the other day and he's always telling me he just bought a car and it's giving him a shit ton of issues. And people say like that's bad luck. Sometimes when you buy a used car, you just have bad luck. And I think a lot of times people don't do research on the make and model before they buy it. They look on just appearance and drive. But I feel like if you're going to buy a used car, you should do research on it. And
I don't think people would understand that. It's like a whole nother language. So it's like it's too much work for them. They're like, I don't just want a car. So they're not even thinking about it. They just think if it works, it looks the way they want it to look. That's why I remember a lot of time people be getting Chryslers 300s. And I remember telling you that shit looks tight. And you told me, nah, that shit fucks up all the time. Those cars fuck up all the time.
It's so shit. I remember so shit. And it's like when I understand people gonna like what they like, but you got to think of, and I understand it's not common knowledge, but that's why you got to do research. Like when you buy old Cadillacs, like people like Cadillacs, it's because of Cadillac, big crit shit, Cadillac type shit. So, but it's expensive. All the parts are more money. It's unnecessary money,
but see, it's because you're knowledgeable, and like I think like if I didn't have you, I would probably be the same thing. Because I would just be like, oh, whatever. And maybe I would just learn from experience. Like, oh, I bought these before and it fucked up on me. Or it gave me a bunch of issues.
You remember remember how, like, because Mississippi was your like adult thing, huh? Your transition to adulthood, right?
Yeah.
You would say? And in the first
like technically.
And like, yeah,
Right.
technically, because
I mean, that's a good thing too. Like, when do you think we reach that status of like
when did you see yourself as an adult? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
year? Or how old are you when you're like,
and then what
I'm
the
an
fuck
adult
is an
now?
adult? Like,
Yeah, because people say like I seen a video the other day when someone's like, oh, we're 30. He's like, I'm 30 years old and I still feel like a kid. And he said, when I was a teenager or a kid, I remember seeing a 30-year-old
And
fully
being like, he
grown.
old,
Like, he's
yeah.
grown. And now you're 30 now and you think
I feel good.
I'm still
Like,
a
yeah.
kid. I
Yeah.
still think like a kid. I still do kid shit. I still like
No, but it's different because I think a lot of people have stopped doing that. A lot of other people. And me, I always do what I want, do what I like and shit, regardless of what people are going to think about me, because who gives a fuck? But that's why it's interesting to me, that question, when you talk about it, because it's like, when did I see myself as an adult? I don't know. Because I've never like, it never was like a realization moment, like, oh shit, I'm an adult now. I think like maybe if I had to pick a moment is when I can buy beer. If I had to pick a moment, but even that, I don't think so. Like, I wouldn't see it because we was drinking before then. Shouldn't have been, but we were. So it's weird though how that happens. How kids always depend on a grown up to buy them liquor. And a lot of times they buy it, because how many kids you see being able to get it? You know, when they had parties, it's there at all times.
it's you always know somebody or you got a sibling. Like,
There's always somebody who's willing to buy it for you, even though it's illegal. Like, I don't know what the punishment is, but I'm pretty sure it ain't light, huh? They buy minor shit, but it's because how do they know? And isn't it that bad? I guess if you really think about it,
I mean, I think you just got to be smart about it. You can't be driving. I feel like that's the main thing. I don't think they care about that you're drinking. I mean, they do, but the big thing is that kids make dumber decisions.
You're
and
irresponsible.
Yeah, they drive. Like that's the thing that's bad. You shouldn't be driving. If you're going to be drinking, you shouldn't be driving. Period. It doesn't matter. And like, is it a bad thing? Like, I remember I was coming home from work one time and I seen a dude in a small little like Spark, like a Chevy Spark. And he pulled out of the bar right here in Carlton. He pulled out of the bar and he was driving out behind him and he was swerving like through both lanes.
Dang.
It was later at night, so there was no traffic, but he was swerving, and I'm like, oh, this dude's he's drunk, and I'm like, so he for whatever reason he went the same way I went to come home, but when it was my time to turn, he was still going straight and he was still swerving, and I'm like, I'm gonna follow this dude home, like see how far where he lived, or like see how, and then like. Not a normal, I don't know, maybe a normal person, I don't know, would call the cops.
Yeah, I think
like
a
the
lot
average
of people
person
are quick to just rat.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it seems messed up but then like, but then you think of it like,
you could prevent
if
something.
he kills somebody, and I could have just called the cops, then it seems like when you weigh the options, it's like, what do you do?
But not even kill somebody. What if he kills himself?
I don't know, because that's his fault. I wouldn't care that much.
Yeah, I know, but it seems like when you have the ability to prevent something,
death,
it just seems like. But to me, there's always thing like, I'm not calling the cops. I just don't like to get involved in people's business. Like, it is what it is. I don't know, and it may be wrong. It might be wrong.
It seems like it's wrong because there's a chance that you could prevent something. So I understand that. But I'm like, let me just follow him home. I didn't want to call the cops. I'm just like, I'm following him home. I'm following, see how far. Like, see how far, and then see. I think it gives me time to think of like what I should do or what. So I followed him home. And he don't live that far from us. No, he put like 3-4 blocks down. He pulled into the driveway, and I'm like, oh, okay. He pulled into some driveway. And then I just kept going slow, and he turned the car off. So I'm like, oh, he's got to live here. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, at least he made it to where the fuck he was going to go. Then he didn't pass not one car, and he was good. But it's like, I don't know if like what the average person would do in a situation like that. Like, would they play it just like me, or would they
probably call the cops? Yeah, they would probably call the cops. People are quick to call the cops. But when you think about it, right? Every time you see bars, you see cars there. And it's like normal. Like you would think that would be a cop spot, like just to chill there to see who leaves. But because if you're gonna go there, you're gonna drink. But technically, you could drink like a beer and still be straight to drive. Have you ever seen the experiment at school where they give you like beer goggles or some shit like that? It's called where you put them on and it's all fucking blurry and shit. I'm like, it doesn't
I
look
think
like
that's accurate.
that. Yeah, but I'm like, why people be swerving? I've been fucked up before. I don't think I would swerve. And I'm like, I would never be dumb enough to try it unless it was in some type of closed course. That's why I said I think it would be tight to put up cones, right? And drive it normally, get fucked up, and then drive it again and see like the difference. Because I think I'm pretty good. But obviously I'm gonna say that. I've never driven a car under anything. And like the maximum I ever driven a car was probably like half a beer in. Like nothing. So it's like barely, I wasn't feeling nothing. But I would never get drunk and drive. But it would be cool as an experiment to do that in a closed course.
In a safety controlled environment. I did it one time. I've done it with like I've driven. Like I was impressed. Well, one time me and Robert, we went to a baseball game. Well, because one of the dealerships I used to work at was like we giving out free tickets to like a local baseball game, and I'm like, okay. They just said you can bring whoever you want, and I told brother-in-law, hey, you want to go? He said yeah, and then we went. It was in Detroit, and we walked to the liquor store because Detroit. We walked to the liquor store a few blocks down. We bought like Captain and like soda and like a big those cup, big, yeah. Like a big cup where we can mix it in, and like chips, candies, and stuff. And then I had a big ass jacket because it was fall or winter, I don't remember. And so I had a nice thick jacket. I just stuffed everything in there. So when you walked into the stadium, they check your pockets, but if so long as you don't have nothing metal, metal detectors don't say shit. So
you had the soda or you had the bottle?
I had the bottle and the chips.
You had the whole bottle on you?
Oh, it was just a pint.
Oh.
It was just a pint, and I had it stuck in my jacket. And we walked in there, and then soon we went in there, opened it up, and then there's people at the dealer. We're all sitting together from the dealership. We're all sitting in the rows. And everybody was drinking from there, like beers that they had there. And here's me and Robert. And we took a bus down there. So we had already... They said you can bring beer, you can bring whatever. So
on the bus?
On the bus. So me and Robert had an 18-pack Corona. And we killed that on the way there. 18-pack. And I think we gave some away to some of our coworkers that were...
I was say that's a lot. Like,
I think I had maybe like 4 or 3, something like that. And then I'm not sure how much Robert had. And then after that, we still went to the liquor store, had that. So by the time we left the
stadium?
The stadium, and
nobody seen you with it? Like your coworkers?
Yeah, well, they seen us when we were sitting in the thing and we were mixing it.
They didn't say nothing?
No, nobody said nothing. And then we drank it, we killed that. And then by the time we were coming back, I was pretty effed. There's no way I could drive. But Robert, on the other hand, I'm not sure how much he drank, but he drove no problem. He drove because they dropped us off at the dealer, and from the dealer you had to drive home. And from Freeland, it's a 20-minute drive. So a 20-minute drive from there to here. And he drove no problem. Perfect. Okay. Like no swerving, no nothing. Perfect. And I'm like, well, I know I wouldn't have been able to do that. But he did it. And then the other time I did it, it was just me by myself in the car. And it was only a few blocks away from the house. And I probably shouldn't have done it. I should have never done it. I should, because I was pretty, but it was like 2 a.m. and I needed to come home. And it was only 2 blocks away from the house. So I'm like, it's not that, who cares? Fuck it. But I remember, I felt like I drove fine. But when I got to the door here, I was like doing that. So I'm like, I didn't see any cars on the way here, but it's probably still not a good idea. It's never a good idea. You should never do it.
I remember telling you like that was a smart move.
Yeah.
And I remember because every time we used to drink I mean, different things different now, but every time we used to drink back in the day, we wouldn't just drink a little bit. We would get fucked up. Like that was the whole point. If somebody said let's drink, I'm thinking we're gonna get fucked up. And not like just have a few shots and that's it. It's always get fucked up. And I remember going to the carnival, to the fair in Bay City. And I remember all three of us, remember? We had a captain. I fucking hate captain. Even just think that shit lingers, huh? That taste, it ruins soda. It ruins a bunch of shit. Like, it's horrible. But I remember having captain, and we put it in something, I'm not sure, and we were drinking. And we were fucked up at the carnival. And I'm like, that's not a smart move. Like, I don't like that. Like, the person to me today, I would never do that again. To be like...
public?
Yeah, to be drunk like that in public, I feel like you're so vulnerable. If something happens, and yeah, you're just going around. I was out here meeting people, fucked up and shit, and nah, that's not the move.
Yeah, I remember that. And then also, if you're getting on the rides and stuff, all fucked up, you were doing that. Do you remember that or no?
Yeah, I think we were getting on the rides. Yeah, and it's like back then, I felt like I think that's where I think I could see my age is because like nowadays, when it comes to roller coasters and when it comes to things like that, I can do it, but like I feel it in my body more. Like my body does not want to do that. I feel like I'm way quicker to get nauseous and throw up. And back in the day, I feel like I could tolerate a lot more. And now I can't even like even if I get on a swing, just swinging up and down that motion, it's an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
When back in the day, you would do that like nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's age. But to me, I think it is because I didn't feel that way.
I think because when you're a kid, you're up and running, jumping, doing all kinds of shit.
I think it's something with like, what do they call it? Like your equilibrium, whatever this shit is called.
It might be, but I feel like since you're a kid and you're jumping and you're flipping, doing all kinds of shit when you're a kid, you're way more mobile as a kid. And when you're an adult, you're not running. Like adults don't ever run unless that's what you do, like for athletic type shit. But if you're the average adult, that damn near never runs anywhere.
You think so?
Yeah. So, and as a kid, you're always running, doing all kinds of shit. So I think that your body gets accustomed to it. So you're less likely to feel the effects. And now when you're old, you don't do it, like get on a trampoline, rarely ever do it. So when you actually do it and you're like, oh shit, you can feel it. You feel the difference.
Yeah, and when I think about it, I don't know what we found fun in roller coasters. I don't find the fun in it. No
People
more.
still today.
It doesn't make sense. No, it's like when I think about it, like when I was younger, I'm like, okay, I think the whole fun about it was like going on something that you know is uncomfortable and it sucks and it's crazy, but doing it with a friend. I think the fun was with that we both experienced the same thing. That's why when you always go crazy, you're like, you do it if I do it, right? But other than that, I don't see no fun in it. It's not fun. I don't be like, this shit's tight. I never done that. Every time you see people on roller coasters, they're tensing up. They're like throwing up. It's a bunch of negatives. Yeah, people love it and it's packed all the time, huh?
Yeah, I don't like them. I never did.
There's crazy ass roller coasters. And you be seeing, especially out the country, roller coasters that just fuck up. And you see like, them shit's spinning super fast and they have people in there and it's like, what's going to happen? Something bad's going to happen. How are you going to stop that? And there was this one time where they did stop it, but there was a lot of times where a bad shit happened. I remember, I think in California, I think it was in Stockton. I think if I remember correctly, I think it was a girl who like fell off the Ferris wheel. It was like big news. I remember.
Like her fault or the machine's fault?
I don't remember, but I remember she fell off the Ferris wheel. But I remember like there's been a lot of accidents like that. People falling off the Ferris wheel. And it's like, it doesn't seem trustworthy to me when I think about it. As a kid, you don't think about shit like that. But me, it's like, okay, what's the point of me being at that altitude? Huh? Like, for what? And I'm not even enjoying it. It's not even fun.
Yeah.
Maybe like the Ferris wheel. I get it. Just it's cool. You're chilling. But it's like everything else. It's just, I don't know if it's for me anymore. Yeah. I'll still get on it. Like, I mean, I guess, but it's not something that I'm like hyped to go.
Like zip lining? You know how you zip line from like mountain to mountain type shit? Not even that?
No, I mean, I think that's different because we've never done that. That to me, when I think of that, it's like adventurous type shit. But I've seen people with some shit in that too, ziplining, whatever.
Yeah.
You see people bungee jumping.
Yeah, that's never. I will ever
hitting
do
the
that.
water full places, boom, boom, and it's like, I don't know. I think like certain shit I would never do. I wouldn't say never because I can do it if I really wanted to. It's not like I'm so terrified. I just don't think it's smart. It's bungee jumping. And what's that shit where you do it off a helicopter? I think like who did it? I think
you do it off a helicopter.
Yeah, you do something on a helicopter. I don't know what the fuck it is. Or like you're hanging on it or some shit.
And you jump onto
I think
the water?
you bungee jump from the helicopter. And the helicopter's just flying there.
Nah, like one thing, you know how the boats pull you?
And you're parasailing?
Yeah, that shit, I would probably do that.
I mean, I'd probably do that too, but that shit's dangerous too.
I guess if too much wind and it just takes you and you leave the planet.
There's videos of people freaking going up super high.
High. That's just scary. I've seen videos of kids like being pulled, like something like I've seen them like what's those called, the balloons?
Oh, the hot air balloons?
Yeah, where the kid hangs on to that. But I don't know.
It's a lot of dangerous shit, huh? I was gonna say, like, do we even know what the fuck we're doing as humans when we create these shits? But I would say we have to, because it's not like, I think just shit's gonna happen. Shit's gonna happen to certain people, like that kid who died jumping off an airplane, skydiving.
With his mom?
And he made a video about it, yeah. And he's like jokingly saying like, if I never see you again, mom, bro, just this, I love you, something like that. And then he actually died. And it was because the parachute malfunctioned, but the dude survived, didn't he?
No, they both died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think I think the way it was packed improperly or something like that. Something to do with like operation or some error of some kind.
Yeah,
due to them.
But I think there's usually 3 shoots though. There's 3 shoots. Well, at least the place where we went, there's 3 shoots. The guy said. One that we pull, he said the second one opens up at a certain altitude. No, I think that's the last one.
The third one opens up at a certain altitude.
The second one is what? An automatic one.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different ways for them to pull 2 different ones or something.
Oh, no. He said there's the first one. It's the normal one. If that fails on us, we got a backup. He said that backup is just a normal one. It's just a backup. And then if that fails, or he said, or I pass out, the guy said, if I pass out, the instructor, then the third one opens up automatically once it reaches a certain altitude.
Yeah, I mean that shit was scary. There's a lot of people that are down to go. They told me like, hey, I'll go. If you go, I go. And I'm like, nah, I don't know if I'll do it again. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'll do it again.
No,
because like
it just doesn't seem like.
I just like I already checked it off.
Yeah,
I already checked it off. We don't need to check that shit twice.
But it is fun. But I think it is pretty crazy. And it seems like a lot of people wouldn't do that. I asked a lot of people, and they're like, "Would you do that?" And they say, "No, never. I don't care." And it's like, why? You know, because I look at the stats of like how many people die, and it's just like, I believe it's more in a car. Now, of course, you're not getting in the fucking jumping off a plane every day. So I mean, if you compare it at the odds at that, because we get in the car every day, and then we've been in the car all our lives. And how many, you can count the accidents, if any. So depending on who's driving, right? But compared to skydiving, how dangerous that is. But I think it's something that it's one of those things. There's certain things in life that gives you a feeling that you're not going to get nowhere else. And I think that's one of them.
I think just because of the height. You never, especially me, that was the first time I've ever been on a plane. So like you combine those 2 things.
Yeah, maybe it was worse for you.
It was so not only have I never been on a plane before.
The first time you got on a plane, you jumped off that motherfucker.
Yeah. So and then having the door open and like looking down, like on a plane is a different thing when you're in a plane. It wasn't shit. Just being on a plane. But being on a plane and knowing you're gonna jump out of it, and that shit was crazy. And the plane was a shit plane too and everything.
Yeah. But to me, I wasn't nervous at all going up. I wasn't nervous for some odd reason. I think I was like more before. I wasn't even that nervous, considering I think that it's a crazy thing. And especially how shit was canceling for us. It got canceled like 2 or 3 times. People were saying that's a sign. Don't go, don't go. Now we have to go. We already made the thing. We're gonna do it. But when you get there, they have to teach you. Like they show you an instruction video, and then they make you sign a waiver and shit. That's how you know it's real, right there. It's small shit. And then the dude comes. Remember, the dude came up late. What's up, guys? Whatever. Like, he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He was late and shit. Like, and it just makes it seem like
unprofessional.
Yeah. And then it's like, this is the guy
that I gotta trust my life.
I think that was the part I didn't like out of the whole thing. Is just that you have to be right on another dude. He's tied up to you, and you're so close to him. Mm-hmm. But I don't think, because I think I could pull that shit myself. I think, but I wouldn't attempt it. I'm not dumb enough
to jump by yourself. You mean?
Yeah, like do it myself. Like open the chute.
Well, now not only do you gotta open the chute, but you gotta be able to
steer it. I mean, it's not steering. It's not that hard.
Like, you need to be able to grab them.
There's people who get hurt on the landing. There's people who fuck up their shit.
Well, I mean, I guess if you don't know how to land,
I've heard stories of people who, when they land hella hard, and then it's like. And I'm like, when I landed, it was smooth as a bitch. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, it has to be just the person. The person knows what the fuck he's doing or he's not. And they'll tell you. Because I think certain people, they didn't tell them, like, put your feet up. So they were like, land on their legs. Some people land on their legs. And boom, that's how you fuck up your legs. When we did it, the guy said, lift up your legs.
Yeah.
Like this.
So you slide.
Yes. And we landed on our ass. Like, yeah, perfect. Smooth. So, I mean, that fool had an experience. And I remember looking at him, and he's like, and I told him, thank you. I'm like, that shit is crazy. Like, thank you for, like, because these dudes always try to talk to you. I think because they think you're scared. But they're like, the whole time they checking up on you periodically. Like, hey, are you all right? Whatever. Because they're afraid you're going to pass out and shit like that. Because I think probably a lot of people do pass out.
We should have recorded it. I think that's the only thing.
I think we fucked up there on not recording it. But I remember you asked me, and I said nah. And I don't know.
It was an extra like 100 something per.
I think part of it too was like, it was the money, but on top of the money, it's like, I think I was uncomfortable with it a little bit. Like, I didn't know how it would work. And then now we got to add more people, because now a dude's going to jump off with us and have the camera in my face the whole time. It's just an odd thing. But I think now, when I think back, I'm like, yeah, we fucked up. Especially when we hear things like you say, like, I'm never going to do it again. And even if we were to do it again and record it, it's not going to be the same as that first time, because we now have an expectation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember thinking it was too much money. It was, at the time, I didn't have the money. So I didn't want to spend extra money. So, but if you are going to do it regardless, put it on a credit card. Who cares? Yeah. Yep. It's like, it's warranted.
I think, because that shit is...
Put it on your credit card, put it on your mama's credit card, put it on somebody's credit card.
Because you're flying. You're literally flying. Not really. Flying would mean you're gliding. You're just plummeting to Earth, huh? But even that idea, the whole thing, there's like a 60 seconds where you're just in the air and it flies by. That's how much fun you're having. Because once you stabilize... Because the jump from the plane, when you jump off, I think it's because the plane is going at a certain speed and you jump off, it fucks up, and that's where it feels fucked up, like a roller coaster. But once you're just free falling, it doesn't feel bad. It's fun. For me, it was fun.
I remember being scared. It was being like the first 20 seconds were like terrified, like, fuck.
I had everything in my head, like I was just enjoying it. And then everything, even when the dude said, because he said, I'm going to tap you. And when I tap you, you open up your hands like this or like this. He said, I'll tell you. All right. And even though we had jumped and I had just went through that roller coaster feeling, hella scared, hella tighten up, because this dude did a flip. My guy did a flip. I didn't expect the flip. So when he did that, I tightened up hella hard. But after the flip and we were stabilized, I was good. And then he just tapped me and I immediately, like, everything was in my head. I was just enjoying it. Until this motherfucker started going. Like, we were just free falling with the parachute open, and he was yanking on that shit. He's like, "You get motion sickness?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Let's have some fun then." And I'm like, "Nah, that shit is going hella fast.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
you
fun.
would come back down.
That's not fun.
Face first, huh? You'd no longer be parachuting like normal.
Yeah.
You'd be fucking straight facing down.
And I think, yeah, because there would be yanking on that shit. But I think a lot of people would be scared at the sight because you're looking down. You're literally just harnessed up, and there's nothing like, even just people at sight. I know people who are scared of heights who can't even look at that shit because it's like they
They'll
go
pass
crazy.
out.
Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, certain people have certain shit, I guess. But to me, it was just fun. I think that shit was tight. And being able to see the whole landscape and shit. Like, how many times you can do that outside of a plane? And then you're not,
It's not the same.
You're not, yeah. There's certain, like I said, there's certain feelings that you can't get nowhere else. And that's one of them. And another one is skateboarding. And another one is being on a motorcycle for the first time. Or in general, just being on a motorcycle. The freedom you feel. You feel like you're really free. Huh?
You get another one?
Yeah, I want to. If I had the money, I would get another one.
Damn.
But I'm broke shit, so I can't get shit. But I would get one.
It just, I don't know.
It's just fun.
Something about it, I remember thinking like if something ever happens, it's going to be my fault.
Nah, I think because it's like that, living on it like that is just living fear-based. Well, that goes with anything. That's like saying if you buy a car and I get in it and crash it, it's your fault.
But it doesn't seem the same because cars is like it's been accepted. It's like you're in a cage. So it's like it's different. And it's like my thing was just like, and my thing was like I no one had any interest in motorcycles. Never.
I didn't give two shits about motorcycles until even when you brought it up and you were like, "I'm gonna go take the course." I didn't give two shits. I'm like, I don't care. And you were telling me, "Let's go take it," because you're gonna want to ride it. And I didn't even care. And it took convincing. And then eventually I did it. And then I was glad I did because then I was like, "Oh shit, this shit's tight." And then having a leg up on everybody else, huh? Remember, because we were practicing prior, it made you feel like, yeah, like I know what the fuck I'm doing, when really you don't know shit.
Yeah, I know. And my bike seemed it was like night and day difference how much easier it was. Like, because my bike was a big bike and they had small bikes.
Yeah, the hella lightweight, huh?
Yeah.
Compared to yours, your shit was heavy as shit. And theirs is like 300s, 500 cc's.
Yeah.
And I think maybe even less than that. And yours was 1200 for your first bike. And it's
hella dumb.
We got so used to it.
Dumb.
Yeah, but you see, like, I think it's dumb when you, like, remember when we went to the course, people said we crashed. Like, they crashed their shit. Yeah, we never crashed. And I think it's because we're not reckless with it. We don't push the boundaries. We know, like, just take it around the block or take it here. Slowly, like, slowly expand, go further.
Yeah. And I think that's how, if you're going to, like, people will look at us like the way we did it and be like, oh, you guys are way over
exaggerating.
Exaggerating your progress. Like we took us forever it was always around the block, and then we went a little bit further, and then I went to work, and then that's it. As far as the Pagan for the first year was the work. Never took it past any 2-lane roads. Never 2-lane roads, heavy traffic. Never.
I went pretty far on that motherfucker though. I went like 40 minutes away.
But how long did it take? How many years?
Well, we didn't have it that long, but I think
we had it for 3 years.
I think it took like 8, 9, 10, something like that. No, because the first year we were slow, huh? First year we didn't do it. I think it was like the second year. It must have been the second year then, where I drove at 40 minutes. And then before you sold it, I had the goal to go drive to our sister's house, which was like an hour away. And through the streets, and I was already planning, and then you sold it. So now we don't have shit.
I know. It was worth it though. Like, I feel like it
was just tight riding the bike though.
The guy sold it. After he had it listed in the summertime, he had it sold.
And it sold already?
Well, I don't know if it sold already. Might have, but he had it listed.
And then it was like a limited edition one, numbered.
Mm-hmm. It was tight. Everything about it was hella tight. Like, it was tight.
But the tight thing about that safety course is, well, not only do you learn a lot, like, that shit is crazy. It's crazy how much you can really learn in 2 days. Huh.
Driving it outside. But we were there. You were on it all day.
And not even then. No, not even really. It was what, like a 5-hour thing? 6 hours?
Yeah, I think it was like 8.
And then the first day it was just like in the class. The second day, I think it was a 3-day thing.
Yeah, Friday night. It was Friday night in class, Saturday and Sunday outside.
And when we did it, there were no problems like with our group. Like nobody did anything. When my brother-in-law went, he said he seen somebody crash. And I'm like, oh shit. And they sent them home. They said, you're done. Go home. And I'm like, I mean, that shit can be dangerous. I mean, you get a lot of yelling when you're in that course. Because they be teaching you gotta find your gap. When people are writing, they have them writing in a circle. And then they tell you, they line you up and you have to find your gap. Just like a car. You know, when you're driving in a car, you're looking for a space to get in. That's the same shit. And I remember the dude in front of me wasn't going. I think it was a dude or a girl, and it wasn't going. And the instructor was just right there looking at him. And then after a while, she's like, go, you gotta go. And he's like, there's no spot. They got whatever. She said, you gotta find the spot. Like, there's been times where there's a spot and you haven't went. And then he went. And to me, I was always like, I didn't want to get yelled at by the instructor. Our instructor seemed like she was mean. Not really mean, but she was just firm. Like, she wasn't a mean person, but she took that shit serious. She didn't play no games. And I remember thinking, like, every time I was half-assed or a little bit off of what I'm supposed to do, I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to pass. And then I passed that shit. Everybody passed.
Yeah, It wasn't that bad. Only one girl didn't pass. They sent her home.
No.
Yeah, the lady girl was like, this is not for you.
Yeah? During our shit?
There was only one girl.
I don't remember.
Older lady.
Because I remember when we finished the thing, she said, everybody passed. Good news.
Well, they sent the girl home.
Like so midway. What happens then? You just got to come next year?
No, she just pulled her aside. I remember, and she told her, like, this writing is not for you. Like, it's not, because she was having too many issues. And she's like, if you go on the road, you're going to get hurt. So a 3-wheeler.
Well, riding a bike con is the only thing that requires all 4 limbs. Got to use both your hands and both your legs. And I remember always learning the clutch and shit.
Get your hands off the clutch.
And stalling and shit.
I stall all the time. Out and driving on the road.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, who knows? Like, I don't know. When I do think about it, like, riding is dangerous. But it's just because to me, I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to live like, oh, I'm not going to do this because I might die there or some shit or something might happen. I just think that's not the way to live. I think I'm going to die regardless. And when that time comes, my time comes. So you can't run away from that shit. Earlier, I think it was yesterday or I think a couple of days ago. I was watching this video and it was crazy. People were like, fuck roaches and fuck all these insects. And there was videos. I don't know, the video I saw, I don't know if it was a compilation of like different people, but they were going pretty hard on the roaches. And it was like, and you never see, and when I'm watching this, I'm like, is this shit, should this shit be illegal? Because it's basically like torturing cockroaches and
what the hell?
And making contraptions to make them suffer, or like tying them up and then stabbing them repeatedly automatically with some shit that they designed. And when you see that shit, you're like, this shit is wild. A lot of times, I don't know why shit like this funny. When you see it, I think it's because there's a shock factor.
Yeah, shock factor.
Like, what the fuck? There's somebody really doing that?
Yeah.
And then it's legal, right? It's not illegal. You can kill roaches. So you're just one guy in his basement making contraptions of fun ways to kill cockroaches. That's a psychopath, right? That's somebody's going to advance one day into something else. But I wanted to show you the video because it was pretty crazy. And then I seen multiple, but this is the only one that I found. Because the other ones, it was a long time ago when I seen them, and I just laughed at it. Look at that. Hold on. Let me make sure. Look at this.
What the hell?
So he's just.
So how did he put him there though?
I don't know. Maybe they glue him or something.
That's the electric chair?
Yeah, I guess he's electric chair. I don't know. The guillotine. Like burning them with
what the
lasers.
hell?
Look at that. With the space and shit. Look at
He
that.
puts them in the oven.
Burning them. Look at that. When you look at shit like this, it makes me be like, how is this shit?
Washing machine.
Damn, look at that. Like, do you think this is like cruelty? You think like something should happen to this guy? Like he should face jail time?
No.
No.
No, but it's like we think that we have no value.
We don't value roaches.
Yeah.
But everybody hates the roach. Everybody hates spiders.
And mosquitoes. So you know how you have those like the zappers in the front of houses?
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
you
lights
hear
ones? Yeah.
all damn time? Nobody cares.
So what if this guy is just like, this is his fun thing to do? What if he's, I was going to say normal, but is that considered normal? I don't think so. He just has an odd thing that he enjoys doing. So he goes and he buys them, because you could buy roaches. And he buys them, and every week he just assassinates them.
But it has to be, I think it's a money thing. It's got to be for video, for content. That's the thing.
No, but what if
he's doing it just to enjoy it? That's a little weird. That's weird. That's like, I feel like there's something there. But like, remember when we had them? Like I remember, like, is it like a requirement? Like if you're in the hood, to just have roaches?
What do you mean a requirement?
Because like it seems like any person that you know that grew up in the hood had roaches or rats.
I mean, a lot of people think like, well, I mean, like a lot of people, I think like today's people would be like, that shit's nasty. Like, right, you have roaches, that means you're dirty. But people don't understand that fucking mice and certain fucking insects also travel from house to house and come from nearby. If your neighbor has roaches, depending on where you live, they can come to your house. And mice as well. They'll run from their house to your house. So it's not always you. But sometimes there is, because we did have roaches. And I remember them motherfuckers would come out at night all the time.
And you go to the kitchen.
You turn the light on, they scatter and shit.
Yeah, they would run away. If they would freeze, huh? They would freeze.
Yeah.
And then fucking run everywhere. Then you try to kill as much as you can.
Yeah, why you can. Sometimes you would sneak into the kitchen and then turn the light on real quick and just start killing them. People don't value cockroaches. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's why a lot of people would see this and just laugh at it.
Because I seen a video of there's a lizard. What are those lizards called? Or like those big Komodo dragon looking things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they would feed them mice.
Oh yeah, they feed them live mice.
Yeah, live mice. And it's like, I understand it's like naturally just the reason why you feed them live mice for something. So otherwise he won't eat it or some shit like that they were saying.
I think they enjoy the struggle. So I think it's like something that they...
Yeah, something. It's like a lion when they pounce on something. It's like naturally what they do.
They want to feel that shit, fight back, and then they want to feel it go limp.
Yeah, so I understand that if it's like something to do with some reason, but you look at the video and it looks graphic and it seems fucked up for the rats. The mice seems fucked up to put them through that. But it's like, if he was out in the wild, he'd be killing these motherfuckers anyways. So it's like, but it just sucks because now there's human intervention. There's like zero chance. At least in nature, there's always a chance for escape.
Yeah.
And when there's human involvement, there's 0% chance of you leaving. It's like, seems unfair.
Well, because that's the only way. But that's not true, because there's people who feed dead mice to their snakes and stuff, and then they just grab onto it and like wiggle it as the snake is biting it to simulate like it's alive and stuff like that. So maybe they can do it, but so you think it's cruel? It
just seems a little messed up. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough when it comes to nature type shit. And people probably say like, oh, you're just soft. And it's like, maybe so. But I just never like seeing animals being hurt for anything.
Well, I mean, we eat them.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different. Like I'll anything for eating, then kill it. I don't give a fuck. If you're gonna eat it, kill it.
But the snake's gonna eat it.
I don't care. You
just think because the snake could still eat it, and it be dead. Is that the thing?
I don't know. I have no idea what the difference is. There's the clear difference.
Because you can see when the hyenas or something catch something, and you can hear that animal screaming, screaming, and then it's just fucking, and it's brutal. Guts hanging out.
I seen a video of a dog in Florida that was getting close to like a pond or a lake or something, and the alligators were there, and the dog jumped in. There's a little small baby dog, and it jumped in, and you can hear the owner yelling, like whatever the name of the dog. Come here, Sheila, come here. Oh no. And you see the alligator coming.
And fucked them up.
And then the dog gets out of the water, right? And then you don't see the alligator anymore. And then all of a sudden the owner's like, hey, come over here, Sheila, hurry up. And then like a few 5-10 seconds pass, the dog gets back in the water, and then here comes the alligator again. And then then you can hear the owner like, no, my dog. Oh. But it's like, bro, what are you doing with that dog? Look, that dog, he's gonna die. Why would you put him anywhere near the water, knowing that there's alligators there? Why would you even do that? Like, there's no dog that will survive an alligator attack. Like, what dog?
There's certain like cats, I think, that have punked alligators.
I've seen humans jump in.
Smack them and shit. Like, smack them and then the alligator just runs away.
Lions, I've seen that.
I just think there's a certain, I don't know. You probably caught him on an off day. Maybe he was already full or something.
Nah, I seen a human go in there for his dog.
To the alligator?
Yeah, go in there and grab the alligator and pull him out of the water.
The alligator?
Yeah. Like, well, it was a smaller one. And he like held his jaw open so the dog can get out.
Damn.
And I'm like,
that must have been like a Florida boy, huh? They be saying that Florida people are like the craziest people. You always hear the craziest stories from over there. Thank you for listening to the AB podcast. You can follow us in the links below. All our social medias are linked there. If you want to buy some merch, the merch that we're usually wearing in the podcast, you can buy it as well. The link will be below.